Drop in. Oh, her. Hey, that's my boy. All right, let me see. Let me share. I gotta find it. There we go. I'm listening to the sound. Okay. I don't know how you can hear this. This at one time. I mean, it didn't say nothing else. Let me see. I'm about to go back in. One day, y'all. This at one time. I mean, it didn't say nothing else. This at one time. I mean, it didn't say nothing. We live, baby. Happy Nacho Monday. Oh, man.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. You are watching the award-winning Nacho and Rich podcast.
Absolutely.
And we have an amazing show for you today. Per usual, please make sure you guys share the live. Share the live for a chance to win $25 at the end of each and every episode. So come on in here, guys.
Come on in the room. Hey. Share the live.
Because it's a Nacho what?
Monday. Oh, was you started off?
No.
Go ahead. Let me see what you got, sister.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay, I'll let it. Wendy?
Go ahead.
You want to start it? You want to start it, Wendy? Let me see what you got.
Nacho Monday.
Woo! Okay, Wendy.
Yeah, right.
Okay, sister. You did your thing. Hey, y'all, happy Monday.
Yes. So, guys, we always start off with how was your weekend? How was everyone's weekend? Very, very quickly, how was your weekend? Start with your ladies at the end.
Oh, my weekend was phenomenal.
Yay.
Yeah, I had a wonderful weekend. I did a lot this weekend, and I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a good weekend as well. Pretty eventful. We put my cousin to rest, so I want to that was a lot. So shout out to my family and keep my family in our prayers as always. Saturday I did walk for Suited by Krishanda. I did.
How you feeling about it?
No. Okay, she about to knock me
Sorry, y'all. It is live.
Big sister moments.
How you feel about walking?
It felt good. You know, I haven't put my heels on in a long time. So I hung my heels up probably 5 or 6 years ago. So it felt different pulling them back out, dusting them off and, straightening my stuff. But really good experience. I'm so proud of Krishanda and her whole movement with her suited line. Y'all know I love me a good blazer. So it just all made sense to me. Yes. And then after that, we went to our Democratic Party. Pretty much kind of like introduction of a couple of the people that are going to be on the ballot on tomorrow. So in case you don't know, tomorrow is a major day across the country. I don't know about y'all kids, but my kids not going to school tomorrow because they teachers want to vote. respectfully. So we did deal with a couple of candidates on Saturday, and all of those lives are on our Facebook page in case you want to see them. And then Sunday, I put on my production hat and handled a little show production. And then, here we are Monday, back at it.
Yes.
Busy weekend.
Busy weekend.
Oh, that's not my tea.
I had a pretty busy weekend. Jayla, my baby girl, had a competition at Myrtle Beach this weekend, and that's where I was this weekend.
Yes.
Friday, I actually, I was planning on leaving on Friday, but I ended up leaving on Saturday morning, midday, and she did an amazing job. I'm so proud of her. Of course, she brought home the medals. First on floor, she ended up 2 second place and a 4th place, or 2 4th place and a 2nd place. And it was just an amazing experience. It's always a good experience to see your children just being all they can be and just putting their best foot forward and just doing something that they love. But for the most part, that was my weekend, and I had an amazing weekend.
Super dope, super dope. Shout out to J Love. Let's give it up. Can I get some hand claps for J Love? Shout out to J.
Hold up, let me get my baby right. I don't even know if that's the right thing. It is. Woo!
Shout out to J. So my weekend was good. Definitely busy. But I got some rest somehow through the weekend. But it was extremely busy, but it was a great weekend. I enjoyed the weather. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah, it was nice outside yesterday.
So the weather was good. I don't know what that means. March Madness on the way.
You guys are welcome. March Madness is
in March, but
yes,
that's what the memories bring.
yes.
yes.
Most definitely. So we had a good weekend. How was y'all weekend out there in the audience? Put it in the comment if you did something interesting, if you did something that you want us to talk about, or that you just want to put us up on. It might be interesting. Share it in the comments. But let's go ahead and get started. We got a phenomenal show tonight. I'm your main man, William Wesley 365.
And I'm your girl, Ashley Good, better known as Ash Bash in your city.
Hey, and I am Kimberly Hussey, formerly Miss Chewy Monroe.
And I am Wendy Armstrong, also known as Wendy HLP.
All right.
That's right. So let's go ahead and get started. It's nothing else to do but bring them on out.
Bring them out.
Yes.
For the one and only Marcus and Tomakio Cause.
Yeah. Woo!
Yeah.
Shout out to RBG, shout out to Tomakio Hughes.
Yay! Royalty in the building.
Good to see you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. You'll be right there. Okay. Mr. Marcus, you gonna be beside me? How you doing? Nice to meet you as well.
I'm sorry. Good to see
No,
you.
you're fine. I stole your purse. That's okay.
All right, how y'all doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Yes. Thank y'all for coming tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all. Y'all are so busy, extremely busy. So y'all could have been anywhere, but y'all decided to grace our platform, and we greatly appreciate y'all. Give it up for yourselves tonight. Yes. So we start with you, Ms. Giles. How am I saying your name properly? Goss. Okay. Ms. Goss, we'll start with you first. Introduce yourself and let the people know where you're from and things like that for the people that don't know who you are.
My name is Tomakio Cause. I am originally from Brunswick County, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right.
Down on the coast between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach. I attended North Carolina Central undergrad, graduated in 2002, went on to law school at UNC Chapel Hill, graduated in 2005, and we moved to Greensboro in December of 2006.
Okay.
So we have been in Greensboro since 2006.
Yay.
Now this is home.
This is home.
This is
home. So I'm an attorney. I have a law office actually downtown Greensboro. I've been there for 13 years. I handle criminal and family law cases.
Right.
And currently I am running for district court judge.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Tomorrow will end the race. And so it has been it has been a journey.
No, it has. How about you, Mr. God?
I am from Supply, North Carolina.
Supply.
Hey.
Yeah,
Y'all
it's,
from some interesting places.
yeah, the major city.
Yeah.
You know, if you ain't been in Supply, you ain't been anywhere.
That's what's up. I gotta check it out, man. But go ahead.
So I graduated from North Carolina A&T State University.
Yeah, I heard.
Yes, you right?
But he ain't finished yet, y'all. He got some more things.
Just a little bit. I got a bachelor's and a master's
Oh.
in manufacturing systems and industrial technology as a master's. And then I got into education. Went back to Carolina and have a master's in school administration. And I just finished my doctorate at High Point University a couple of years back.
That's right, brother.
Nice. Yay.
Doctor. Thank y'all. So we'll start with you, Miss Giles. What's that?
That's it.
Giles. Okay, got you. So look, so you earned a full academic scholarship to what college?
North Carolina Central.
That was Central.
That was Central.
How was that ride? Because there was an HBCU. How was that ride there before you went anywhere else?
How was my experience in North
Yeah.
Carolina? So I attended a primarily, not a minority high school, and so that was
Brunswick High, right?
my goodness, right? It's West Brunswick, the school I graduated from. So that was night and day from my experience in North Carolina Central. But I was nurtured.
Yeah.
That was the most amazing educational experience that I had throughout my life. Was that experience in North Carolina Central?
Mhm.
You know, I was nurtured. I met a lot of good people. Felt like people were pushing for me to do better. Like that was my experience in North Carolina Central. And
Gotcha.
but for the academic scholarship, I don't know that I would, where I would have landed. But that was an opportunity for me to further my education, and I was appreciative of that academic scholarship.
Yeah, most definitely. What was that major?
My major was political science.
Political science? Oh,
Nice.
That's what's up. So then you went to law school,
Then I went to law
correct?
school. Yes.
Before we get to this point, what interested you into practicing law? Or what motivated you to even get into that?
So years ago, we had a career day, maybe when I was in middle school, 7th or 8th grade, and I learned about lawyers because I didn't have any lawyers in my family. Just, everyday working people. Was raised by my mom. She was a single parent. So when I saw the opportunity, the career of being an attorney, I was like, oh, that's something that I could do. And in my mind, I'll be a corporate attorney. I'll be someone who's like behind the scenes doing all that work. And of course, that is the complete opposite of my legal experience. But that's where it started. So that was my motivation to say I'm going to law school. And then once I said it in my mind, it was just, I didn't stray from that at all. There was never any option. There was never any consideration of I'm going to do something different.
Yeah. So what's the biggest thing you enjoy about being an attorney?
Helping people.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
I like
Helping people. Really, in order for you to do this kind of work,
Yes.
you have to want to help people.
Most definitely.
Because, otherwise, it's not, it's paying decent,
Mhm.
but.
It ain't all
work too.
Yes, it is.
Right,
It ain't
my
all
own boss. So I'm
Yeah.
having to, get my own work.
Yeah.
I get a lot of referrals from a lot of other lawyers and law firms, but that is something that I have to put my heart and my soul in. And certainly you have to want to do it. You have to want the passion of, mothers and fathers, because I not only represent mothers, I represent fathers in terms of custody and things like that. So it's the passion of wanting to help people's lives be better because of something that I was able to be a part of.
Most definitely. So you've been a lawyer for how long?
18 years.
Okay, so when did the pivot point come for you to run for district judge?
So in 2012, because this is actually my third time running for district court.
Wow.
In 2000, yeah, that's it. 2012, I had a talk with God, and in my talk with God and my prayers, it was run for judge. And I had this vivid dream about who to run for, who seat to run for. When I told everybody, they're looking at me like, why would you run against that person? Like, what do you think? So there was not a lot of encouragement from my legal community because I think they were looking at me like there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But I have faith. Like I
That's
believe. And not obviously I didn't win that time, but I know that those were my steps being ordered by God for me to get here to this point because there are a lot of things that had to happen and change in my life. And from maybe maturity wise for me to get to a point where I needed to be. But that's where it started. That's where that seed was planted and it continued to develop because I ran in 2012. My practice became larger beyond that. From that, me running, I got more business. People saw, oh, she'll do this. She'll run. I ran again in 2019 and still felt that seed was there. I knew it was there. And each time that I ran and I didn't win, it never felt like the loss of, oh, you shouldn't have ever done this.
Right,
Never, ever
right.
did I feel like that.
Yeah.
It was always necessary. It's always necessary. It's always part of the plan. And so, and then this time it's like, oh, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
it is.
feel it though. Why we on that part? Why you?
Why me?
Yeah.
So the judge that I found in, she's retired.
Okay.
She's one of our primary civil judges. And so what I'm realizing is that we're getting a lot of judges who don't have that civil experience. And most of our courts deal with civil court. So we're dealing with a lot of family court, we're dealing with child support court, we're dealing with domestic violence. And if you don't have that experience, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to go into those courtrooms with those types of emotions, and handle those types of cases and look at it from just the legal perspective, as opposed to just also looking at it from the humanistic. Like there are other factors that are always in the forefront before you see these people standing in front of you. There are other issues, there are other things going on. I think in order to kind of see that, you have to have done that.
Experience it, yes.
That would be on a day-to-day basis from that perspective. And so I think that is why I would be the best judge for the city. Why I am going to be the best judge.
That's right, man. Most definitely. So, Mr. Guy.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you are an Aggie alumni. We're gonna claim you. I don't care. You went to multiple schools, but we're gonna claim you.
Absolutely.
That's the original.
Yeah, that's the one that counts.
So tell me, being the principal at one of the greatest schools on earth, I'm gonna go ahead and claim it. How does that feel as a Black man with the opportunity in that position and leading a school of that mass?
So I think I'll start out by saying that just to be at the helm of like the greatest HBC historically Black high school,
right? Yes.
With the largest alumni, with so much history and character, and like just a force to be reckoned with, not just locally but nationally, internationally. Like, so that is extremely humbling. Again, I'm from supply, so stuff like this doesn't necessarily happen to individuals like me.
Right.
We grew up in the country, like
That's an honor.
you know what I'm saying. So having an opportunity to lead is one thing, and that is extremely humbling. But you also have to be very. I think for me, you have to stay rooted and grounded to some of the same practices and principles that you learned that I learned in the country.
Right.
It's more or less like you treat people the way you want to be treated. Like you make sure that you lead by example. Like there's no job too big, too small. Like you can pick up the trash, you can clean the windows, but you can also teach the class. You can also lead the school. So it's just trying to build that camaraderie is important as a part of leadership. People think it's like the dotting every I and crossing the T. It's not. It's a people business. It's about making sure that people's children are taken care of and they get an opportunity at the best education they can have.
Most definitely.
Yes.
So I heard they call you the singing principal, and you went viral, international viral. So tell us a little bit about that. How did that happen? When did it happen? Why did it happen? And the viralness, how did that affect you?
I'm still trying to figure this out. So, like, I always like highlight myself as like the introverted extrovert. You know what I mean? Like, I was the child that had his own mind, like marched to the beat of their own drum. If I was gonna try it, I was gonna try it. It wasn't anything anybody could do to stop me, right? So I've always just kind of marched to the beat of my own drum. So singing at graduation is something that I honestly started at Andrews while I was there. I don't know if I've shared it a couple of times. In May of that year prior to, my dad passed away from cancer. And so the actual graduation, and that was like Memorial Weekend is when we buried him, had his memorial service. And on Father's Day was our graduation. So so that whole day I was like, I really don't want to do this. It's like my first Father's Day, and it was a struggle. Like I stayed in bed most of the day. I got up. And so it happened several years ago where I just started and became a ritual, but it started just because the song that I sung was something that I heard him humming quite frequently as he was sick. It's just so that was the first one. And it was just, it was from a TV show. And actually it was a really song.
Well,
Well, that first one was not. The first one was, You just call
Yeah.
Come on now.
out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again.
Yes.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, I'll be there. You got a friend. And that's the first one. That's
It's a little bit of irony to this. When guests come on here, it's always this thing when people that have passed on, and it's like this feeling we get on the panel. So I felt one of that feeling, like usually a light up link, or it'll be something kind of, just supernatural.
Absolutely.
and I felt it. So like good stuff.
Absolutely.
I was speechless, but that was dope.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, spirit right there.
Thank you.
Yeah. But one more question before I pass it to the
Yes,
lady. So your father taught you the importance of hard work in education, right? God rest his soul, rest in peace to your father. But how do you carry that baton? What's the importance to you of working hard in education?
So my father was a member of a local union, so he worked at the docks, right? And so it was a lot of like manual labor. As a matter of fact, the reason why I went to college is because like you can come do this. I mean, all day long he had me 12 hours just pulling nails out of boards, 12 straight hours.
Wow.
I got
College it is.
my hands were cramping up. College didn't seem so bad because this is one 12-hour day. It's a lot of 12-hour days in a lifetime.
Yes, it is.
And so that really was my motivation. He never said go to college, but he just asked a simple question: is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? And so I saw him move from like doing manual labor to being like one of the officers that ran the union. So while he might have been able to work on cars and trucks and fix anything known to man, he also was the person that came home in a suit and tie. He might find that same suit and tie sitting up under the car trying to fix something.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. And so it taught me, one, the importance of hard work. There's nobody, in my opinion, that's going to ever be able to outwork me. They may be able to outwit me and outsmart me, but they're not going to be able to outwork me. And so there's a lot of things you may lose at life, but it's not going to be because I didn't work hard. And it's not going to be because you outworked me. And so I learned like just principles of working hard just from seeing him work hard, and then seeing, and both of us are our first generation college graduates. So for us, it's like we had to work hard. Like I got 2 learning disabilities. So how for me to be able to go through as a black boy, nobody was coming like and saying, let me show you how to work through this. Like, let me show you how to deal with this. Matter of fact, I didn't get diagnosed with either one of them until I got to college. So you go through a whole, and I was smart, but my grades didn't reflect that. But hard work, like the grit, the tenacity, the push, the fight, the don't quit in me, is really what helped push me. So I just learned that. And the other piece that I learned from him was just, you treat people how you would like to be treated. It doesn't matter who they are, what they look like. We're judged based on the way that we treat the least of those. So love the people that other people find difficult to love. Like be that person.
I love it. Good answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me be
Okay.
I'm sure not from you.
Hi guys, if you just now tuning in, you are watching the award-winning Nacho podcast, and we are here with the phenomenal Mr. and Mrs. Goss, Dr. Goss. That is. So my first question is, I'll start with Mrs. Goss. What is your end goal? What sets you aside from all the other candidates that are running for your position?
I would say resilience. So, like I said, this is not my first time doing this, and it's not my first. Even after the second time when I didn't win, I probably said after my first day of crying all day in the bed because I lost. I said, "Oh, we're doing this again." we're gonna do this again.
Yes.
And so at least in my race, the other two are first time people running. And so in terms of my experience across the board, I'm the only candidate that has a consistent experience across the board in terms of criminal and civil law. I'm the only candidate, at least from what I can see, that has a lot of involvement with the community, that has been consistent. I do a lot of mentoring. I do a lot of volunteer work with women in the community. I do a lot of volunteer work. I volunteer with the NAACP. I volunteer with the PTSA. So I do a lot of volunteer in the community, in schools, with kids, with adults. And so I give back to my community consistently. And so I think that definitely sets me apart from my other brothers.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
For being so involved in the community. It's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to be boots on ground, right?
Right.
Absolutely. So outside of all the political things, right? People like to see you in rare form. What are some things that people may not know about you, like the public, or like some talents you may have? Things
Why you making that face?
It's a shine. So the people just go on.
You're right.
Now she starts singing. I'll be like, wait a minute.
You are for all the wrong reasons.
I play I like playing kickball. So I was on a kickball team once. I would say I'm the star. Star of the kickball team. Marcus Cause, he's sorry. And people like, oh my gosh, you remember that? You don't remember that part. It's fine.
I love it.
Twerk it, not kidding.
I'm glad you said that.
Mind you, she told me to behave.
I mean, people have to know that you're like they can relate to you.
Personable,
They have to
yeah.
know that you're human.
Right.
That was my point of asking the question. Because a lot of times when people see you in the community, you're in the courtroom,
Right.
or you're somewhere in your professionalism.
Right.
So people like to see, like, can you laugh? Can you tell a joke? Can you do this? Can you do that? So that's why I asked that question. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
It wasn't true, y'all. She was just
I believe it.
Entertaining the what?
Thank you so much. Dr. Goss. So I heard out here in these streets they call you Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark.
Hey. Put the chains on the door.
I heard that you're known for like turning those schools around and reconstructing things and just doing what you do. So I had to throw that out there. What part of the A&T Middle College do you play?
Tell me more about the question. Unpack a little bit. What part?
Yes, I heard you play a major part over there. I actually heard that you were responsible for kind of developing that whole thing.
You the man over there. That's what
I was a principal at a middle school in Hillsborough for a couple of years. And when I came back because of the opportunity. At that point, it was a middle college at A&T. And I saw me, like, it was, for those who don't know, it was an all male high school on A&T's campus. And most people would believe that it's like you get to just choose the cream of the crop. Kids are coming in, these are straight A kids, and they have the best of home lives and everything is great, right? It's not. But it looks that way because of how they're able to accomplish and move and meet pinnacles that they would usually just attest to other people that are coming from those backgrounds, but they don't. When I came in, I think it was definitely pruned and ready to go from the previous administration. But when we got there, it was just like, let's go. Like, we see that there's no stopping in what you can do. And so we took it everywhere. Like, it was 2013, we went to DC as a National Blue Ribbon School. Got to meet U.S. Secretary of Education Arnie Duncan during that time. Every single student graduated from high school, every single student graduating and going on to college or into the military. And so they more or less kept that same pace going. So it was like, for me, it was like, let's set the pace and then let's maintain the pace for everybody else to kind of follow. So, absolutely.
But thank you
I
so
love
much.
that. Yes.
I just wanted to say, my brother is a product of the program. He absolutely hated getting up early to school, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. My mom said, you have options. Either you go to high school or you figure out somewhere else to go. Somewhere he found A&T Middle College, and he graduated. To this day, he dresses really nice and business casual, buttons his shirt to the top, and I mean, it changed his life. So thank you so much for that program. Like, we really need it out here, and I just wanted you to know that people sitting right next to you, brothers, sons, are products of the program. And I just want you to know that that is a phenomenal program.
It is amazing.
Absolutely. He did not miss a day.
But I think that does go back to say, like, sometimes we try to figure out, like, what's going on with our generation. Nothing. It's us. It's like, really, what have we taught them? And if we don't teach them, we just really can't expect for them to know those things. And there were small pinnacles of, like, how do you dress for this? What fork do you eat with? How do you like compromise? Like, how do you deal with difficult situations? Like
adulting.
Right.
Yeah.
It's life. And if we continue to act as if those things are just gonna fall through the sky, like somebody is just going, it's just gonna one day they're just gonna grow into this. That's not the way life happens. Somebody taught us, like, when you go in this environment, this is the way you conduct yourself, whether it be church, whether it be at the basketball game, whether it be just in the presence of adults. Somebody had to teach us and train us those things. And at some point, we have to get back to some of those same pinnacles because they want it. Like, they really do want it.
Yes. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And guys, if you're just now tuning in, we are the award-winning Nacho Every Podcast, and we are here with Mr. and Mrs. Gals, aka Dr. Gals. And yes, tune in, and please make sure you share the live. Share the live for a chance to win $25 at the end of each and every episode. And if you're just now tuning in, please make sure you go back and catch the beginning, because of course they were dropping some gems.
Absolutely. And some tunes.
A little bit.
And a little tune or two. Okay. You should have did the Nacho song for us.
That's what I was thinking when he was singing it.
Somebody should have gave me here.
But to bring you in next time.
We are Nacho Party.
Yes, we are. Nacho Quartet.
Everybody in the city know we're Nacho Party. We might not even try you won't.
Okay. We what you gonna get. We the free ones. No, I'm just kidding. Before we move forward, I do want to go over the ballot for tomorrow and some of the things that we'll be voting for, just so everybody's mindful, and so that you go in there tomorrow knowing exactly what you're voting for. And hopefully this will give you the motivation to actually go. You know, we learned Sunday that 20,000 people do not exercise their right to vote in Guilford County. That is disturbing. That is very disturbing. So let's close that gap. So from the top, we have a presidential election coming up. So that is probably the most important box on the ballot. So the presidential election is on the ballot. We're also voting for North Carolina governor this year, North Carolina lieutenant governor, North Carolina attorney general, North Carolina commissioner of insurance, North Carolina Superintendent of Public Instruction, North Carolina Treasurer, North Carolina Supreme Court Associate Judge, seat number 6, North Carolina District Court Judge, District 24, seat number 5, North Carolina District Court Judge, District 24, seat 10, North Carolina District Court Judge, District 24, seat 12, North Carolina District Court Judge, District 24, seat 13. North Carolina District Court Judge, District 24, seat 14. And that is where you'll be sitting. Hey. So that is a lot of seats that we will be voting for in this election. How important is it for us to actually get out there and grab those seats?
It is super important. Specifically, I mean, like you said, there is an important attorney general seat.
Yes.
An important attorney general seat, and then the district court judge seats are at the bottom of the ballot.
Yes.
And most of the time, what I'm learning, or what I was learning while I was out campaigning these past couple months, is a lot of people will not vote to the bottom of the ballot. And that's because they don't have a lot of information about district court judges. And so if they don't know who the people are, they don't vote. And what I've been telling people is that, yeah, you may not get in trouble and you may not, go through a divorce, but a district court judge is going to touch someone in your family or your community each and every day. Because like I said, they're doing just traffic tickets. There's like policies about traffic tickets. So things that you might think are not big deals, different judges handle those things different ways.
Absolutely.
And so that's an important seat. It's your local seats that are also just as important.
Absolutely. What do you feel like is your most memorable case that has kind of transformed your career?
I got one.
You got one for me?
Yeah.
You got the case.
Yeah, like the lady that you just, that was on the opposite side of the aisle.
Ooh.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Came
one.
back, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. And those children are not grown. You're right. That was probably like maybe 9 or 10 years ago. I was in a custody case that I represented a parent. Like it was the hold on, use my name. I represented the dad. And at the conclusion of the case, the dad got custody of the children from the mom. And it was a difficult case because we went back and forth so hard. And honestly, when I first started practicing, it still would hurt my feelings as a woman for women to lose custody of their children.
Absolutely.
But of course, I mean, I'm a business owner. So if you come to me as a man and you like, I'm trying to get custody of my kids, this is the situation. Yeah, I want to represent you. And so in that scenario, I represented the dad. And like I said, as the facts came out, I was like, okay, you should have this. You're right, you should have. But maybe it wasn't even probably a year later, there was a lady that called my office and she said she's referred to me by the mother. So
the man you represent?
The mom that we went against. She referred me a client. And I'm like, that is odd.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I talked to her or if I saw her at some point, but she said that even though she lost custody of her kids, she respected the decision of how it turned out, and that the way that I treated her and dealt with her in that case, because she did not have an attorney. And so I was his attorney, but she didn't have an attorney. And she said that she appreciated the way that I treated her in that case.
Wow.
And so to me, it was like, that's telling, because sometimes you struggle with, when people come to me, sometimes their first name is, are you a bulldog in the courtroom? And I'm like, I don't think that I'm a bulldog. I think that I know my facts. Am I going to be in there being nasty and rude to people? I'm not. That's just not who I am.
Right.
And so I think that it's not always just important. It's not about the win. Like this is, like I said, this whole process of being an attorney is not, I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm feeding into people. People are feeding into me. And it's not just about winning and losing. And I'm starting to realize that as I get older, it's more about how you're treating people, how you're making people feel. Because like I said, when you're dealing with those types of cases, people are going through like the worst times of their lives. And so for you to come in and be nasty and snarly and just, unnecessarily rude to them in the midst of already what's happening, that means you have no heart. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can't do that. And so to me, that was one of the defining moments of, you're doing this the right way. And so my reputation, I feel like they look at that as that I'm a bulldog. Because I get to but it's just that I'm not going about it the way that they imagine it. The way of I'm jumping up and I'm getting in somebody's face. Yeah, that's not me.
She's a bulldog.
Hey.
Now I pulled it out at home.
She's a bulldog at the house.
And you take it.
Well, I do, because that's how much you've done to other people.
No.
So my next question is for both of you guys. Do you ever see both of you being on a ballot together at the same time?
Absolutely. That is the person that I am trying to get on my team. I'm saying you all are only seeing the surface. Like Marcus goes so hard for what, like this. So he started out, like he said, he was an engineering major. And so when we married, right before we married, he was working in DC at the Treasury. So that was his career. He was engineering. And I said, do you want me? You're cool. You want me? You're coming back to North Carolina. And he got a job as a worker. substitute teacher making nothing. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, but as years have gone on and his job and how he's he just loves it. Like, it doesn't matter what time of the day or night there's a call for Dr. Goss about the kids, he gone.
Yeah.
He like, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Something's happened, something's going on. I got a child's in crisis, whatever it is. And that is consistent. That's not I'm doing this for anybody's recognition or anybody's attention. This is consistent. And so for him to have that kind of there has to go beyond,
Oh, yeah.
it has to. There's no way we're going to just compartmentalize this here.
Right.
So that's what I'm pushing for. One day,
Awkward.
Secretary of Education.
Hey!
I'm going back to DC.
Okay.
Going back. We on the way.
I think it might be safe to say she's a woman.
I think so too.
In a good way.
You saw how that just happened, okay?
I love it. I love
You saw
it.
that just happen.
So my next question is going to be for you, Dr. Goss. So as a principal, and with the way that I guess the school system is right now, it's very violent at times. One thing that we learned on Sunday is that in the safety plans for schools, the administrators do not have a plan to hide. So my question to you is, how do you prepare yourself to go to school every day?
Well, the first thing is that you have to learn that there are things that are outside of your control, right? And so regardless of how much you plan and prepare, there's certain things that are just going to happen. It's just like some things like car accidents. No matter how defensive of a driver you are, there's certain things that are just going to happen. And so you plan for the things that you can plan and prepare for, right? But you also have to have a really solid foundation in God.
Yes.
And so every single morning, before I even get out of my truck, I say a prayer to cover everybody that goes and comes, everybody around my campus for safety. And that something that we may say or something that we may do may make someone feel loved and appreciated that day. So there's a saying that what love is, like patient, kind, but love also conquers every single thing. Like, I have a hashtag that I started using a couple of years ago. It's just that love always wins. And if you look at the acronym of that, that's the law. So I've never met any student, parent, or anybody else where love did not conquer, like where it didn't win.
Yeah.
And so although there is plans in place for safety plans, there are plans for every single piece that we have a flip chart of if this happens, or if there's this kind of call, or if this kind of issue, these are the steps, these are the people you call. I think the piece that we often miss out on is an opportunity to teach our students, our young people, that they are probably really the first line of defense for anything. And I think the key to all of the safety of schools is the relationships that you have with kids and communities. Because relationships I love my kids. My kids in turn show me the same love. They're not going to want to see any hurt, harm, or danger come to me. Therefore, if they see something, they hear something, I'm going to get a call, I'm going to get a text, I'm going to get a note, I'm going to get something that says, hey, this is potentially about to go on, so you'll know. They're not going to allow themselves to be in this space for the most part. And that takes a level of trust in order to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a safety piece that really comes with, I'm not Superman. Like, I don't have an S on my chest, right? And so I can't stop everything from happening, but collectively, we are a lot more powerful than that. I mean, and this is a sidebar. The stereotypical kid that you see that, imagery may look like, this make you be a kid that may tear up schools or may come in here with trench coat on or something like that. Those become my best friends from day one. I find them, let me find you. So it's me.
Okay. So my last question for you is, what do you feel like we can do as a community to better support the youth, the school systems, and even from a standpoint of a parent, since now we are not allowed to go into the schools like we used to? What can we do on our side to help you live the best life that you can in the school system, if that makes sense?
I think one is to take some time. I just read this a couple of weeks ago. Is that one of the very first things that most successful people have to contribute to is to giving up their cellular or electronics for at least an hour a day. And so while the article didn't say this, I kind of read more into it than what it was. But I feel like that every single person has their own individual collective genius and anointing, right? But in the event that that's being influenced by what I see and what I hear and what I watch and what I text, then I'm never going to be able to tap into that genius, right? So being able to separate just for an hour, and for me, like when I get overloaded, I just have to stop everything, right? Because I get caught up in doing the task and the things that, so I stopped. I did, and that's when I read the article. I stopped for a couple of days and I just read the article and read a couple other things and slept and kind of caught up, right? But the piece that I learned is that I got more done after I unclouded my brain in an hour's time than what I had the whole week. And so sometimes it's like the stop, the regroup, the separating yourself from electronics helps more than we give credit to.
Yes.
Two is push. Like we're guilty of this. Like, and we say this like very freely. We have had to work really hard in order to get to the places in life that we are. But that comes at a cost. And the cost that it comes with is, although I'm pouring into everybody else's children, it takes time away from my own children and my own family. And so, but as they've gotten older, I'm really blessed that I have two sisters that live here. I have nephews. I have, a whole lot of extended family that's here that's kind of helped pour into my children. And so we're blessed in that regard. But being a part of like the family in which I grew up is, I came home, I had food as soon as I walked through the door. We weren't rich, but there was food. There was something that we either killed outside, that was on the table, or grew outside. But there were some structures that we had in place. And so now everybody is so inclined about trying to make it. But at what cost?
Yeah.
Because although we're making it, maybe from a financial perspective, it's costing us the time that we should be spending with our own children.
Yes.
And we're realizing that cost is way more expensive than we can afford. So 3 is just taking the time to show up.
Yes.
Even something as simple as stopping and play a board game. Like, Tamika did this summer. I was so mad, and then the kids were mad. So like this summer, she was like, "You've been going wide open. Like, we gonna stop." So she sends me these pictures. Like, we're gonna go on vacation. So we went to the mountains. I was like, okay, well, first of all, I didn't expect for I think she was just kind of like separating me, because there was none of us at all.
Yes.
So we in the boonies. It's like. And we're going down this dirt road up this mountain to get to the place we're staying. And I was just like, hey, Aiden, make sure Betsy's back there. Say duck, just duck. But no, we go there and we get in this place, and there's nice little flat screens on the wall. All the rooms.
Yeah.
We was like, let's get it. Like, it's I pull up my little laptop, like, this is stuff to.
Yeah.
No Wi-Fi. No.
And no
cell service.
Oh, it's off the grid.
We had a meeting. Me, Alice, and Aiden, like, okay, so what we gonna do?
Stay here.
Oh my God.
Stay here.
So, but what it did was we played games. We sat outside and had I don't need s'mores, but we out there like s'moring. We out there playing in the stream like this is carefree, like we're a kid again. And it was a breath of fresh air. It was necessary. It was like a time to regroup, just to connect. So it's like, I think just taking the time, like time is something that has no value to some, but it's the most expensive thing that we own.
Yes.
And there's no amount of money that you can use to purchase that back. So making the time count is important because they grow up really fast. Like we looking at this now, like we got a senior graduating in May, and I'm just like, wow, I was assistant principal at Dudley when you were just a few months old, and now you're graduating. Like my son is in 10th grade, and he was born while I was an assistant principal at Dilley years ago, and he's now 2 years from graduating. And so the time goes by fast.
Yes,
and so
it does.
the last thing I'll say is that if we don't give them a faithful foundation, then we'll continue to experience the heightened mental awareness struggles because there's no foundation for them. There's no, like, if we don't create the structure of this is how you manage just your day, this is how you manage your time, this is what love looks like, this is what it doesn't look like, this is how you heal from your own traumas so you don't give everybody else what's left over. You know what I mean? So it's those sorts of things that we have to get back to that I think completely evolve, like not only schools, but just the community and the world at large.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Right.
It's my time.
It is.
And a lot of the things that I was going to say has already been said, but that's okay.
What you got?
I was going to ask you about
Man,
with
who
you.
did it?
I already know who did that. I was going to ask you about your experience singing "I Will Always Love You" at Andrew's graduation, but you spoke about that. So I do want to tell you how I know you.
Oh.
And both of y'all, it's so funny because Christy McDougal. Christy, yes.
Shout out to Chris.
Hey.
Christy is my kid's aunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when Christy was going to Dudley, I knew you were her principal. And then, of course, I know you're Christy's lawyer, Tamika.
And
So I've heard,
she came back around somewhere with our children at some point too.
Oh, you're right. I feel like it was at Mercury.
Yeah, like so she got a whole history.
Yes.
She stuck with it.
But yeah, I wanted to tell you, well, both of y'all, Christy has spoke very highly of both y'all. And I've heard it for a while. So I did want to tell you that. But as far as you as a principal, has there ever been a time where one of your students had to be represented by Tamika and you all discussed it and you probably wanted to advocate for him, or because she's a bulldog in the courtroom.
Okay, so she is. So I'll say this. So she has, I can't even remember the number, like it's been a lot, that she has represented help through situations because I'd be like, hey, what? What? And so, somebody got a ticket, somebody got some stuff they got themselves into, they need some help getting out. They can't go in there by themselves because they're going to eat them up. Yeah. Right? And so, but there's been a lot.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
It's been a lot. And I have to work it off. Like I got to really work it off.
I need that light bulb change. I need it.
Okay.
I say be home at 5. I hope I don't get out to
5.
Yeah, so I have to.
Well, thank you for the sacrifices for the community.
Okay. For the restless nights.
Absolutely. But she has, and I do want to go back and say this because I think it's really important. Like we in two separate worlds for the most part, and so we think, right? But what we've learned is that the worlds that we work in, that we have careers in, like they often overlap. Collide. Like we see them quite frequently. I promise I know this is not a loss. I have had judges to send me kids and say, you going to school wherever he is. And I don't, and while it's flattering, I'm like, you can't really do that. But okay. I'd be like, okay. So, but the other piece is that our worlds have overcrossed to the point where we understand the importance of this. Like this election for me, and somebody else said it before, I think it was Pastor Thomas when we went to visit the church. He said, sometimes you have to pay attention to who's on the bench because regardless of why you may go, whether it be you or your family members, don't you want to see a familiar face of somebody who has been either in your church, working in your community, just sitting behind the bench that's making the decision? Like I do a lot of work as it relates to DEI and diversity and equity and inclusion. And so in that, like there's a window of where we're not necessarily saying, right? We're still, most people don't know this, but we're still dealing with the issues of being a third of a person and being not having the right to vote. Like right now, my kids came back from voting and they were just like, we had to fill out all this paperwork and it was so frustrating. I said, imagine having to go and figure out how many jelly beans are in the jar before they'll give you an opportunity to vote, regardless of. Think about how many people had to be cussed that spit at in order for you to be able to get that right.
Yes.
So I say that because sometimes we miss out on the fact of the importance of people in roles and positions. And there is a lot of power and influence that judges have. And I want judges to be able to see my children as people. When with Tamika behind the bench, I know that she's going to see Alex. If there's a young lady that comes, if there is a young man that comes, a young black boy that comes, that she's gonna see our Aiden, like she's gonna see our kids in them, right? And so I think that it's important for us to really begin to look at who do you want at the helm making decisions about you, your life, your family members' lives. And so that's, I think, why she's so passionate about the work, is because we need somebody to see us, not just what's in the law, not just how difficult it is, because we're gonna have empathy, sympathy, and tough love with people that look like our kids. We can relate to that.
Yes.
Everybody can't understand that energy. So like she was saying earlier, she went to Central, and when she went to Central, that was the first time that it was really nurturing for her. If you think about what children have to experience every single day, regardless of where they are, A&T for me was the first time where Black was it, like, and it was like, honestly, Black people doing it, like successful Black men and women, like out here living out their dreams. So if you think about what we are facing right now, our worlds collide, but they collide in a good way, because I want her to be behind the bench, or somebody that's able to see the kids that look like me.
Nice.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And you know, that brings me to this question that I for Tamika. As a district judge impacting so many lives, what would an ideal year in the courtroom look like?
A picture of me in the back.
Okay.
The chocolate is still in the
Oh man. How you deal with that every day?
I wake up like this.
I think that's what my actor.
Yeah.
That's what makes life so good.
Okay. I love it. Yes.
I think that an ideal year would be making decisions and seeing that the decisions that I made have had positive impacts on people. So being able to, and I don't know how realistic that would be, but whatever I decide in terms of custody, because you know, most of the time these people, families move on, you don't know how, you're just dealing with them in that moment. And I think an ideal year would be able to get some kind of feedback in terms of these were good decisions you were making this year. Like, you impacted people's lives. Your decision not to send him to jail for 60 days, he stopped using drugs. He stopped drinking. You know, it made impacts on people's lives. And so I think that would be like knowing that I've made those impacts, like knowing that the decisions that I've made haven't changed people's lives. That would be ideal to me.
Yes. Well, I can tell you have impacted Christy's life. Yes, both of y'all have. One more question for both of y'all. What is one word that describes you?
Powerful. Both of y'all.
Yes.
Tell it.
I mean, the first word that came with was ignorant. What's the word? You thinking? You ain't got your word?
Mr. Gals, give me one for your wife.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. There's a lot of them. Like, I'm gonna give you a couple. What consistent? Fearless. Compassion. Bold. She had, I mean, honestly, she hadn't even really tapped into her stuff yet. Like, she really, like, this is just like surface for her, right? Like, this is, we already talked about this. But the power that she possesses when she walks in the room, the word that I would say is just anointed.
Yes.
And sometimes we associate anointing with church, which is cool. But your anointing has to go further than the walls of the
Yes.
building,
Yes.
right? So wherever you go and wherever she goes, she's the same person. Like she's consistent. And yet anointed, she flows in her own realm. It's not like what everybody else does. She understands like I'm who I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And, yes. And my
because I've been getting chills the whole time sitting right here. So I feel the energy.
It's like simple, like it's like simple, smooth, and quiet, and simple is like sometimes it's like perceived as being a bad thing, but it's just simple. It's like the less is more, and she goes for it. Like don't. She's like Olivia Pope.
My last question is, what would either of you tell your younger self?
Man. Go to freedom, girl.
Okay.
Don't go to Freaky. Goes on. Let's see.
I'm sorry. You think?
Go ahead.
I actually had this conversation. My mom is up here with me to help
Yeah, you told us something.
So I
Shout out to Grandma.
today.
Shout
Shout
out to Grandma.
Yay.
What I told her is I said I did not realize like as a teenager like my focus was I'm too big, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too nerdy, all those things that I kind of had negative thoughts about myself. And if I would have known now or knew then what I know now, I mean I definitely feel like I would have been a force to be reckoned with because it was girl, you could do like anything. Like you are beautiful, you are smart, you are like it was like things I wasn't confident or felt like I couldn't say about myself or feel about myself. But I would have tried everything. Like I probably would have studied abroad. Like I probably just would have been I would have gotten out of my own way. I just would have experienced so much more that I was so scared and nervous and I can't do this and I can't do that. Because even like I said, this running for judge, this is completely out of who I am as a person. Like me pushing myself out there to put myself on Broad Street for people to criticize or whatever they do. That took a lot for me to do that. And so if I would have known that I would have saw myself here, I would have been, like I said, a force to be reckoned with that today. I would have been everything. I'm like, girl, I can do this. Worst thing that can happen is I won't win this time or I'll fail this time. I'm gonna get right back.
Yes.
I get back up. That's just what I do, and I move on. So I think that's what Mom and I talk about today in the car.
Thank you.
I love that.
That's good. I was just processing yours. I ain't think about mine.
Love it on your lady.
Yeah. So I think not to dim your light so that others can be seen. Like, don't minimize your light and your shine. Make sure that they get their shine up. Like don't wait for them. And nobody should be around you that wants you to dim your light.
Right.
I really do think that there's this parable, and I'll tell you this story real quick. I have a disorder. Actually, most of my siblings that were born after my dad came back from Vietnam because of his exposure to Agent Orange, then most of us have some kind of skin disorder. So mine was really bad. And so it took, and my relationship and my father's relationship was not the best for the longest of times, right? And so I often kind of look back on how much time I spent being mad, upset, and angry. Not realizing that God will use the same person that I was the most upset with to get me the medical treatment and healing that I need. And so the other piece that I would tell myself is something that he told me. Like we went to a medical appointment and still on really like rocky terms. And so we drive up to Charlottesville and I'm trying to see the specialist, only for the specialist to tell me that he no longer does that work. And that the only person that he knows that does it is in Detroit and is world known. It'll take me a year to get in to see him. And I didn't have a year to live. And so I realized at that point being stubborn, and I was bullheaded, right? So I go there, we spend the night after getting that news. And so finally I break. And the next morning, he didn't even realize he's down at breakfast. He comes back in the room, my head's in the pillow. I'm not making any noise. And he just starts talking. And he says, I know, we don't have the best of relationship. But regardless of whether you go today or tomorrow, like I'm gonna be with you on this journey.
Oh, yeah.
So he said, I know what the doctor said. I heard exactly what he said. He said, but there's a quote that says, sometimes you have to take a step even when you don't see the staircase. And
I like that one.
every single time, and that was chills then, but every single time I think about it, he couldn't see that I had lost it, but he could feel that I was shattered. And that the strength that I was trying to portray was nothing more than weakness. We packed our stuff. We got in the car and we started driving to Detroit. And before we got out of the city limits, I had an appointment the very next morning. Craziest thing is that the next morning was a Saturday, and that the doctor took his time on Saturday to open up his office to see me.
My God.
He didn't know me. He didn't know my father. But he did. But I say that because there's so many journeys that we take in life that we don't know like what the end may be. But does it really matter? It's like it's the journey. I have found more strength in the things that I felt like were meant to break me. I found more strength in that than anything else that I've ever just succeeded at. Like everything that most people would think that I had lost, or the times where I had lost, has been nothing but a win and a learning experience. I experienced that with my dad, and that's my best friend. What else? Like, what else can break me? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of strength does it take for you to be able to endure that and become the best you? So I say to myself, like, don't be afraid of a failure, because there's no such thing. Either you learn or you win. And so for me, it's like, and be you. Be you. Other people will adjust. We've adjusted long enough. Right? So
Don't dim that light.
And
Don't dim that light. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Upstairs.
Okay, that was touching.
Yeah, we appreciate
Tell me to
that.
bring my tissues over here. No.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you all being transparent and authentic, coming here as your authentic selves, because that's really hard for people to do. I don't care what industry you're in. Sometimes people just have a hard time being themselves. And that's one of the easiest things on earth to actually do, if you actually do.
Yes.
To be yourself. So guys, if you're just now tuning in, we are the award-winning Not Your Average podcast. We are here with the phenomenal Dr. Cause, as well as his amazing wife, Mrs. Cause. And we have been, they dropped some jewels tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys missed it, please make sure you go back and watch the episode. It's never too late. It's live. It'll be on our Facebook page. Please make sure you share the live for a chance to win $25 at the end of each and every show. And also, please make sure you guys are following them. We did tag them, and we will actually drop their names in the comments. Please make sure you're following them. They are some very, very smart, intelligent people.
Yes.
They are sources in the community. They have resources in the community. And we do this and we built this platform for you all, for us, for the community. So take advantage of what we bring to you guys each and every Monday. You heard attorney, family attorney, criminal attorney, principal, building programs, engineer,
Doctorate.
DC, doctor.
Yes.
Come on, we're here. They're here for it. They're just a click away. We'll have the information. And make sure you all go out to vote.
Yes.
It is very important to vote. It's very important, because if you live in Gifford County, This matters. This matters. So don't talk about why your kids don't get free lunch anymore. Don't talk about why you gotta lie down in the back of the car and you get a $1,500 ticket if you're not going out there to vote for people who stand on it.
Mhm.
So go vote.
Absolutely.
Go vote. March 5th, go vote.
That's it.
Yes.
Good.
Shout out to Dr. Jean Blackman over here.
Dr. Jean.
And thank you everybody that's in the comments. I got caught up in there, man. They listen, they don't dance. We're passionate about what we do, y'all.
Oh, absolutely.
Shout out to Tamika Hughes, shout out to IBG, our magic maker. Shout out to Shakita Good, she said amazing to you all. Shout out to T Nice Rose, she said, hey, Nacho crew. Tamika said, let's go. Tamika Goss, vote.
Vote.
Shakita Good said, Eagle Pride.
Come on, Shakira, we doing good.
Eagle Pride. When I read that, look, y'all, when I read that Eagle Pride, y'all know what I wanted to say.
What?
Tiger Pride?
No, sorry.
It's like, what?
Is that a thing?
We'll talk about it later.
Marquita Pratt is in the building. She's a loyal viewer. She
Yes.
said faith. She said faith the size of a mustard seed.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Please save that right there. I just said that today.
Yes.
Oh, I just said that today.
Come through, Marquita, always.
Yeah, that's good.
She do not play.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, she is.
Christy McDougal says, come on now, Mr. Goss. Samarian Hendricks says, hi y'all. Shakita Good says, he is always a call away for my son. My sons call him Dr. Goss. My son calls, Dr. Goss is there are forever great.
Yes, that's big. That's real big.
They're my youngest.
Yes.
Sean Spillman says he is telling the truth. Great show.
Yes.
And of course, shout out to the Honorable Dr. Jean Blackman. He says peace and love to everybody. Marquita Press says, all right now, loving that positive energy and those positive words.
Yes.
And Diamond Moore says, Mr. God.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you all so much. If you have anything you would like to ask them, we have a few more minutes here. Drop it in the comments. They are very transparent. They'll be sure to answer your questions. Make sure you go vote.
Yes.
That's it.
You can't say it enough.
That's it.
Because we'll be voting.
Oh.
Share that live because she's about to do the wheel, everybody. Absolutely.
And tomorrow, instead of posting your selfie, post that picture of that sticker. Okay?
Yeah.
I voted. That's
it.
the most important picture we're trying to see tomorrow.
That's it.
Yes.
All right, let's do the wheel. You ready for the wheel?
Y'all ready?
Ready?
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming in today.
Absolutely.
For speaking.
My
It was
pleasure.
phenomenal.
Man, thank y'all for
Touching,
having
amazing.
us. Absolutely. We enjoy it. Like this is absolutely, and we going to like 9 polling sites to drop off signs after we leave from here to work.
Yes. Get it in.
Polling opens at 6:30 a.m.
Woo.
in the morning
Y'all got all day, 6:30
to
to 7:30.
7:30
Yes.
p.m. Make sure you take your ID because they
Make
be
sure you take
tripping
your
you.
Yeah.
Make sure your ID is not expired, okay?
That part.
Yes.
Listen, we don't want to give them no reason to turn us away, okay? 20,000 people do not vote in Gifford County. We're changing in there.
Right.
That's it.
And if you're one of those 20,000, we on your tail.
We on you.
Yes, we on your tail light. So yes, if it's your first night here, welcome to Not Your Average Podcast. We are the best podcast in the world, the universe, atmosphere, all of that good stuff. If you are new here, each and every Monday night, we give away $25 to one lucky viewer who has decided to share the live. If you have done so, we've added your name to our Nacho wheel. If you haven't, this is the perfect time to do so. And once you do, go ahead and put your name in the comments and we'll add you on to our wheel and give you your fair chance of winning $25. Okay? While we wait for that, I do have a Nacho quote we're going to go over and a little bit of information. So it is Women's History Month. Hello, ladies. How y'all doing? Okay, all right. Y'all used to not have a voice. We got to speak up now. So I just want to let everybody know that women did not get the right to vote until the 19th Amendment. That means there were 18 other amendments that came before the the one that actually focused on our voice. So tomorrow we have to do a lot, ladies, just to get out there and voice ourselves and our opinions, and take more control over our community. On the ballot itself, there are several women who are up for seats as district judges. And we want to give all of those women a chance to see what they can do. We see what the men could do. That's all I'll say.
I'm a co-sign on that. Like, I'm a co-sign on that. Like, there's what they say behind every great man is a great woman.
That's it.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
That apply to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Right now.
That's your question.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So, like, man, we got some stuff to do too. So, like, I'll just piggyback on that. Like, we play a role in this. We got to make sure that if our parents and our women are good enough to make sure that we are the best that we can be, then we got to step up to the plate and make sure that they have the opportunity. There's no reason why we're in the 21st century and we don't even have equal pay for women, and knowing that they are taking on more responsibility and having to work even harder than we are working in order to get to positions and roles. So, like, some of that ownership has to be on us for us to make sure that we continue to promote. Like, we got to push and make sure we put people in offices that are going to make fair decisions.
Yes. Absolutely. It was very disheartening to hear the conversations that go on about the body of a woman and what we can and cannot do. And so I think it takes us ladies to go out there and start voting so that we can be in control of our bodies and your daughter can be in control of hers. It's only fair. So yes, let's talk announcements. Are y'all ready at the end of the row?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, so first up is I Am King. Let me get you together. Hold on one second. That's not you. That's you. All right. And
I Am King Brunch and Blaze is April 13th. Mr. God.
I'll have my people talk to your people. That's
right. So we got the I Am King going down April 13th. It's a big affair, man. This one is even bigger than the one last year. We got a tight panel, a dope panel. We got kids actually from Dudley coming out too.
You infiltrating
a few kids as well.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's gonna be a wonderful event. Me and my brother, Dr. Gene Blackman, is doing our thing, man. Y'all see the lineup right there. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to take up too much time. But make sure you get your tickets. Tickets are on eventbrite.com. Get your tickets. And we'll see you April 13th. I Am King.
yes, absolutely. All right, so let's get a little panda time in. Take it away, Ash.
All right.
Panda.
Westgate City Boulevard. Shout out to Eli Southern and Stacey Nicholson too.
Absolutely.
If you guys would like to come, I would definitely send you over some free tickets.
We definitely will support.
But I
We're gonna
understand it's
support
a
both.
Been checking them calendars.
Okay.
So look, just shoot me a message. But I will definitely invite you on some tickets.
Okay.
Thank you.
I love that. So you can celebrate the win.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go over the Nacho quote and then we'll close out for tonight. Are y'all grabbing my names for us? Can y'all hear? Can everybody hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody just texted me and said they couldn't, so I was just making sure.
Okay. Yeah, it should be able. I do have two messages on the ring, but go ahead.
Okay. Oh, Tamara. Okay. Hey, Tamara. Okay. So the quote for tonight is, and Tamara, I'll add you right after I read this. It says, we're blessed with the opportunity to stand for something, for liberty and freedom and fairness. And these are things worth fighting for, worth devoting our lives to. And that came from Ronald Reagan. So y'all know what tomorrow is. It's your chance to fight. All right?
Let's fight this fight.
Let's fight the battle, y'all.
Let's fight it.
Yeah, I got her.
And I have an anonymous person that donated an extra 25. So they want to give another 25 away. So it'll be two that came here.
That's what I was. So they didn't hear my good
Since
quote.
they can't hear nor
There we
see.
go.
Okay. So we have an anonymous
Oh,
the person who donated an extra 25. So we're gonna spin the wheel twice tonight. So hey, glad you hung out with us.
That's it.
Go back there again. Okay, y'all. I'm adding in my last names. Give me one moment.
So while we waiting on that, I got one more last question for y'all. Because, we touched on a lot of things, but I definitely want to leave off with y'all's relationship and y'all's marriage. The strength, the beauty, the excellence in it, the longevity, the resilience that y'all both have. Y'all are both powerful individuals. What keeps y'all going? What keeps the love flowing for 19 years? That's a beautiful accomplishment. And moving forward to empower other couples, what's the catch? What's the remedy?
You want to go first? The realization that you are two people with two different life experiences that are now joined together as one. Whenever Tamika wins, I win. Whenever she hurts, I hurt. Whenever there is a fight, we both fighting. And so it's not like this picturesque thing that people see on television, but it is a lot of communication and loving on each other past our own faults. It is a lot of forgiveness. It's a lot of that's on me. But it's also a lot of faith.
And prayer.
It's a lot of prayer. It's a lot of giving. But it's all worth it. Like every last bit of it is worth it. Like I don't question about who's gonna be with me. I don't question who's gonna take care of me. I don't question who's gonna push me outside of my comfort zone. I don't question any of that. I got somebody that's gonna I got a bulldog and the bulldog is gonna come. And so while she quiet and smooth, mess up with me. So she coming. All that. Get all that.
I love
a
it.
little bit before we go into the wheel from a woman's perspective, because I know you love him, man. When he was talking, I just seen you melting that chair. And I'm serious, like, that's definitely a beautiful thing. So I want you to speak from a woman's behalf, because it seems like you know how to support your man and how to fill in the gaps, how to be the strength in his time of weakness and vice versa. So share a little bit of that for women that's trying to find love and that's in love, trying to keep love.
Right. Now I have to be honest, and I'm gonna, say the other part of this is that growing up, my mom was a single parent, and so I saw my mom being the man and the woman. And so I think that when we came into this marriage, of course, we had an idea of how we were going to make this work. But I think something that I had to over the years make sure that I moved away from was trying to be in control and letting Marcus trusting his decision, because the reality is, at the end of the day, no matter how the decision goes, that he said this is what we're going to do, he got my back. He's going to take care of it. He's going to figure it out. We're going to be good. And so it has to be trust. Let the man be a man. Let a man be a man. And that's something, like I said, that's taken some time, a lot of conversations, a lot of let me lead. I'm the head of this household. It's like, first it's like, I know that I have, I'm I can make decisions too. And so it's been sometimes the pushback, and then I'm wrong. Like you can't be the man and the woman. You gotta pick one.
Sometimes somebody really taught us this, so I can't really take credit for this. That leading is not about somebody being in charge. Right. Leading is about being in agreement of how we move forward.
Wow.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna take control, and this is what decisions I'm gonna lay out here. But I'm gonna make sure you get all the credit, but I'm gonna take all the risk. You get all the reward. We have to be in this together. So it's a union of being one, that we lead together. Like That's what we are.
Love
Yeah.
it, love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good.
Yes.
Make the numbers jump up.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep that.
All right, make it
Okay.
I'm trying to find back.
That's it.
Judge, I won't be Mr. Clark.
Uh-oh.
I get it. Thank you so much. We appreciate that great advice.
Go ahead and clap with it. You good now? I'm sorry. We went over a clap.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Yeah. I clap with her. I held my sister down.
Hey, listen, Frank got there, you gonna get these curls over here on your shoulder. Oh, pop it.
Yes, it
Oh,
is.
thank you.
Yes, it is.
Before you do the wheel, I want to read 2 comments.
Absolutely.
Good comments.
Okay, let me go back.
I know we gotta wrap it up. But Gordon McCann says, "Hey family, don't forget runs domestic violence survivors forum this Thursday, March 7th, Haynes Hosiery Recreation Center. Happy Women's History Month. Hello and grace and peace, Mr. and Mrs. Goss, and people exercise your rights."
Absolutely.
So thank you for
Thank you.
Corey.
Diamond Moore says, "I just want to say thank you for always giving tough love. You were a father to many who didn't have one at home. You spoke life into us and made a positive impact to us at Dudley High School. You are very appreciated."
Oh, man.
Now you trying to make a thug crowd here.
Okay. Trying to make 6 people proud.
Thank you.
That sounds good. Oh, man. Y'all gonna make me, I'm gonna change my son's school tomorrow.
Come on, we welcome with open arms to the great James Vincent Dudley, the high school where legends are made.
Okay, so you want me to be honest with you? Mm-hmm. My son right out there, he's in middle school right now. He'll go to high school, of course, in 9th grade. Mm-hmm. He wants to go to public school because right now he's at a charter academy. And so my agreement with him is, and he can hear me, if you write me a 3-page paper on why public school is better than the current school that you at, and it has to be in APA format, I want it right. Resources, the whole 9. You able to go? You able to go? But without that,
okay. Come on.
So I told him he got to do the research. But yes, that's it. I'm gonna tell him that's what you need to talk to. But yes, so we ready for the wheel, y'all? Let's give some money away. Yes. We're giving away $50, yes. 2 25s. Yes, 25s. Yes. So if you missed that announcement, I know you're hurting right now because it ain't that many people in the running. All right.
That's all my people.
Let me have it.
I'll see you on here.
You just got me out of it. Yeah.
All right.
We good?
Yeah, we have a lot of people. Is T-Nice? Well, what is T-Nice?
Yeah, she up there. I got T-Nice.
All right.
Big nice.
Nakia Neal, she said shared and very inspirational.
Got her up there. Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, check in. We have about 14 seconds. One was used up with me 7.
Okay. All right. So let's start from the beginning. And if you don't hear your name at this point and you still want to be added on, we got time, but you got to share that live. So from the top, we have Latia Reese, Miss T. Nice Rowe, Marquita Pratt, Raven Hooker, Elizabeth Christina Rankins, Janelle Jordan, Christy McDouglin, Nakia Neal, Tamara Hendricks, and Diamond Morris.
My people.
Yes, he just did it. That just do a roll call for you.
Diamond was like Miss Joy. I had her son at the middle college. Like all these other people. Like
that's good.
Yes, those are people too.
Yeah. So y'all know good people.
All right, so
anybody else?
Quick refresh. All right.
Corey said he should.
Okay, I got you, Corey.
Jean Blackman.
Dr. Jean.
And Shakita Good. Thank you guys.
Okay.
Technology.
Don't judge my typing skills, Mr. Cause.
Are you rolling?
Okay.
You ain't saying this hunting pig with these two
Who was my last one? Okay.
We appreciate you.
Shakita. Okay. Shakita.
Shakita.
Is that the cousin?
Yes, okay. She spelled that with E.
That's what I was like. I never seen an E on there.
With E, with no E.
Oh,
Original.
okay. All right. So we ready? Y'all ready?
Caprice Smith.
Okay.
Kapryce. And I think we had a little leg. They kind of like popping in slow.
Okay. We good? How y'all feel?
Great.
All right.
Wonderful.
Here we go.
Okay. All right, let's go.
So this will be for the first $25. Remember, y'all got 2 chances tonight. So good luck.
Tina.
Ooh.
She wins a lot.
She everything. Yeah, she nice. Look at that work.
She's been watching us since the very first
Day one.
Yes.
and she has not let up yet.
Yeah.
Thank you,
so
T.
much.
Nice.
I see why she keep getting paid.
Yes.
Y'all better catch on.
Last week as well.
Yes. Tina, we starting to pay your bills, I think.
One more time.
Okay, we're gonna do it again.
We're spinning. Yes, Tina, you did win again, girl.
Woo!
Your cash app is saved at this point.
Anointed.
Anointed.
All
right.
Caprice Smith.
Caprice Smith, are you in the building?
You know what I'm saying? That should be first. Last one at it, and she won.
Come on.
Yes. Quick question: the person who donated the 25, did they want to be?
Yeah, they want to remain anonymous.
Okay. Just making sure. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you.
Yay.
Through.
All right now. How we feeling, guys?
Feeling good. Feeling great.
Feeling good. Do y'all got any last words?
For the people.
Do you have any last words? Excuse me.
What you got?
My rags
Come on,
did
you got something.
Come on.
You-
Exercise your right to vote.
That's great. Yes.
what I got? Hey, so black man, you are powerful.
Yes.
You are strong. You are amazing. You are talented.
Yes.
You are loved and you are appreciated. Don't stop being bold. We need you and we see you. And if nobody has told you that they love you today, it's truly indeed my privilege and my pleasure to be the first to let you know that somebody loves you right here, and that somebody is me.
Yes.
Most definitely.
That was so good. All right. That was amazing.
It was.
Thank you.
He was probably like, okay, I do that every day. I'm used to this.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Okay, but wait, one more thing. Miss Tomakio, you gotta let them know about tomorrow.
Let's go.
What's your final words for tomorrow?
We need them. Let's go.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Tell-
We need you
yeah.
all to come out and vote. Right now, I think like you said, we've only have over 20,000 registered Democrats who have voted in early voting. And I think over 300,000 registered voters in different counties. That's a big jump between 20,000 and 300,000.
Pick up your
Yes, it is.
mama, your auntie,
Everybody,
your
everybody down to
uncles,
the polls.
your baby daddy. Pick up
Yes.
The baby.
the baby.
Yes.
Little baby, the big baby. That's it. Like,
Okay.
6:30 a.m. You will see me at a poll somewhere until 7:30 tomorrow.
polling site.
Nice.
Polling site.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Polling
you want me at a poll.
Yeah.
We gonna be at the polls for you.
County. Yeah, so please, sir, please, ma'am, please go out and vote tomorrow.
That's it.
Oh, I gotta give one plug. Like, no. Your brakes, cause the ship has sailed. I want to give a shout out to Miss Charlene Armstrong.
Yeah.
She eats up all our food. She's at my house taking naps. She's running for district court judge.
Yes.
And she is good people. She good
Love
people.
it.
So,
Really good people.
Yes.
Charlene, remember who got that shout out, okay?
He
Okay.
was in my heart. He was in my heart.
Yes. So that's two people that we gotta vote for tomorrow.
That's it.
More than that, but that's
It's
two.
5 of them.
Okay. Can you name them out or?
So there's the seat that I'm in that I'm advocating for myself,
Mhm.
Tomakio Goss, and then Charlene Armstrong's seat, and then there are 3 other seats. I think you might have had them, they were on the
Thank you, Thursday
Right.
News.
Mhm.
Kelvin Smith is in another seat, Shakita Berry,
Mhm.
Cynthia Hatfield, And then what's that, 3 seats?
Mhm.
4th seat is Trip Baker and John Stone. And then the
Mhm.
last seat is Gabriel Cousin and Brian Thomas.
Yes. Ooh, that memory.
And
Yes.
don't forget
Okay.
nothing. Okay.
So if
I love that.
you're having, if you're on the fence about who to vote for, you can run this back, you can look them up, you can see what they advocate
Right.
for, because you do want to know for yourself. It's simple math. And just make sure you get out there and vote, and you vote for someone who stands for what you stand for.
Right.
That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
That's it, y'all.
All right.
Ooh, that was good.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
This
Thank
made
you.
Yes.
This is excellent, man.
All right.
It's like coming to the family reunion.
Right.
Okay. You invited to the cookout.
Come on.
That's right. So we appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Most definitely.
And definitely everything that y'all do for the community, for our kids, the whole nine, because it starts at the school. So,
Ms. Gab,
Most
Mr.
definitely.
Gab, I do gotta say something.
yes.
You need us to turn up the for one of them pep rallies, call Nacho every podcast, all right?
Say no more.
Hey, just
Yeah.
What the kids say? Say less.
say that. All right, my man, we must 365.
Oh, Tamika Goss.
Yes.
D. Dr. Marcus D. Ghost.
Yes. I am Kimberly Husby, formerly Miss Chewy Monroe.
And I am Wendy Armstrong, also known as Wendy HLP.
That part.
That's right, and we together are
Not your average podcast.
We out, baby.
We out of here.
Peace.
Going to the hole.